Welcome.
Well, the warm spring weather is causing many golfers to break out the clubs and head out for some practice. But what if you could practice in your backyard? A company called Greensyn makes that possible. CEO Sid Rubin joins us now from Clarksville. Sid, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Jeff. Pleasure.
Tell me about the product. What are you selling?
Well, we've got everything for the recreational family to the discerning golfer. A real practice facility, a synthetic product that requires virtually no maintenance, but rolls as true as any fine golf course you've ever played.
How is it different than just putting down some AstroTurf in the backyard?
Well, there's a design that goes with an architecture that really will last forever. I mean, there's a green I'm standing on right now that has about 13 tons of stone under it. So the way the thing is designed as far as packing down your base and setting your cups and things are what really makes it much more like a real green than just laying out your daddy's indoor-outdoor carpet.
For a putting green in the backyard, what do you need in terms of terrain? I mean, obviously you can't have too steep a grade to begin with.
Well, we can solve that problem. I mean, given whatever it is we have to work with, we bring in our guys and take a look. Sometimes it's just moving earth, sometimes it's bringing it in. You know, the two most important things are obviously size and accessibility to your property.
How long have you been doing this for?
Actually, we're just starting up coinciding with the launch of the Masters today. Now, we've installed several greens as I was exploring this through a due diligence process last year, because it appears that this is the hottest thing in the country that just hasn't reached the Mid-Atlantic yet.
So what's your region going to be?
Anywhere in the state of Maryland. In fact, tomorrow morning I'm going down to Northern Virginia, so you can pretty much call it the Mid-Atlantic area.
And the place you're standing, is that a demo that's available?
Yeah, we have that, and several of the ones we've installed, our clients are only too happy. You know, first off, they're like kids at Christmas. Can I putt yet? Can I putt yet? As we're putting them in. But they've also been real kind in letting people come and experiment with the product. When I first discovered the product, you know, I think my first line was, do I get a windmill with that? You know, literally. And then as I found out the putting surface, our best surface, was just put into the Performance Training Institute by Titleist out in California. And then when I found out that David Ledbetter, one of the world's foremost golf instructors, put one of our products into his training academy, that's when it kind of piqued my interest, as this has extreme credibility as a learning tool.
Well, you know, golf greens are notoriously finicky. Whether they've just been cut, whether there's a little dew on in the morning, really affects how the ball can roll. How does this surface compare to, in terms of speed and performance, to the greens that people are actually going to be playing on?
Well, that's a great question. You know, we can control it on the stimp meter anywhere from 9 to 13, and we like to try and set it very much consistent with the course that our clients play at, or the club that they belong to. You mentioned consistency, and it's a very good point, because David Ledbetter has two 5,000 square foot greens at his facility, but he teaches on the 2,200 square foot synthetic green because it is more consistent depending upon the time of day, temperature, etc. So you can have unlimited resources, but the maintenance on a single green and fringe and bunkers, etc., is just not cost effective.
There's got to be some maintenance involved, even a slight amount with this product.
Yeah, we come in pretty much like you open up your pool at the beginning of the year. And our guys will come out maybe twice, 3 times a year, re-top dress it with a ceramic top dressing, roll the product, and that's really it. Other than that, a leaf blower is what makes this a tremendously cost-effective investment. Are
we looking basically at the putting surface, or do you wind up doing a little sand trap and some fringe area too?
Whatever the space will allow for and whatever the golfer wants. I mean, obviously, a great source for us is teaching PGA pros, because as any golfer knows, if par 72, you know, 36 of those are putts. So you're going to better your game the more consistent you can get with your short game. If you want bunkers, we can do that. If you want chipping stations, we can do that. In fact, there's different surfaces. One surface would be different if you wanted to hold a shot from 30 yards versus a nylon product that you wanted to putt like a tabletop. We would use a different synthetic application in that case.
All right, let's talk about the bottom line here. What's the range of prices?
Well, a buyer could probably consider about $20 a square foot as a rule of thumb. Now that varies again depending upon access, but when I say that, that is soup to nuts. And that would include design, excavation, grading, the cups, the flags, the pins, and of course the surface itself.
Do you envision having commercial customers as well as residential? What do you think the mix will be?
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, this application can be indoor, it can be outdoor, and really putting greens for greensyn is sort of the jewel in the crown. We've got a product now where I would defy almost anyone to tell us our real rye and fescue from our product, which is a synthetic rye and fescue. And I'm on a mission to tell developers, people who are building office complexes, people who are using grass anywhere, where like shopping centers, where it's strictly visual, it's not functional. When you have the maintenance expense, you know, people want return on investment. Our grass always stays green, never needs watering, never needs mowing. So, you know, there is a product besides the putting greens that we think is a tremendous business upside.
What are some of those other potential applications for this?
Well, playgrounds, for one. We have a playground product as opposed to, let's say, a mulch that is rubber-filled, meets all the drop specifications for kids, doesn't need mowing, doesn't turn to mud. So that's one for the residential side of the equation. But as I mentioned, office complexes, shopping centers, median strips. You know, we come out of a record drought season into a record rainfall. It's wreaking havoc for recreation and parks councils, for developers, and we think we have a great solution here. Up until now, the product simply hasn't been good enough, and I think we can change that.
Yeah, just think how much they could save on mowing if, like, the median of I-95 was this stuff.
Exactly. In fact, I said to my wife, half joking anyway, as we were rolling down a runway on an airplane, and I saw grass between the runways, and we're passing it at 200 miles an hour, I said, why would anybody have real grass there these days? Unless, of course, the product wasn't good enough, and it is now. Well,
all right, since you brought up spouses, I can imagine in the sales process here, you're going to have situations where one spouse is an avid golfer and wants to have one of these in the backyard. The other spouse would maybe rather see a nice rose garden out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're standing at a showroom here in Clarksville where they buy, you know, fine granite countertops and marble floors, so the wife gets what she wants and sometimes the husband gets what he wants. But I'll tell you, don't envision it unlike a swimming pool or a wooden playground, Jeff. I mean, you know, people put those in, they spend thousands of dollars. Certainly this putting green gives you many more hours of pleasure per year than a swimming pool does, but the beauty of it is, you know, from 8 years to 80 years old, they can all enjoy it. So not only is it visually attractive, functionally, you know, have a party one weekend and just watch everybody with a soft drink out there putting and just having the time of their life.
And you mentioned there's some indoor applications as well. If somebody had the space, you could do something inside?
Yeah, certainly. In fact, the company where I buy my product, they have it manufactured specifically for them, is out of Florida, and I went to visit them several times, and down in Palm Beach is a 2,000 square foot putting green inside the airport. And I marveled at it, and I said, wow, shopping centers, you know, airports, indoors, plenty of places. And many people have seen them. They're accustomed to seeing them inside pro shops and places of that nature where you buy your golf equipment.
All right, Sid Rubin. Sid, good luck with your new venture, and thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.
And it's time now for our weekly visit with Karen Gibbs, the co-anchor of Wall Street Week with Fortune.